Okay, let's begin. How are you all doing? I got a new mic, so I hope you can hear me clearly and it's not clipping or it's not too quiet. Just let me know. I did a few tests before the stream. Hopefully, it's not too bad, but hopefully it does sound a little bit better than the other mic. So um, sounds sexy. Good. That's exactly what I typed in when I was searching for it. Excuse me. Okay, let's say hello to everybody here. Find the right window with the full list on. The Barry White mic. Who've we got here then? Mr. G, Anti Magic Knight, Proud 7, Steps, Fitrend, Microman, Fostiar, I'm gonna say it, and I'm gonna say it, Acmafin, see, True Tonnies, Grey Defender. Welcome, guys. Shannon's beard. Yeah, do you know what? Every time I shave it and it grows back, it gets a little bit whiter. I really should just put a Santa hat on, shouldn't I, at Christmas? Maybe I'll do that. Okay, cool. So there's a note we're going to take another look at the music player. So I may be turning the music on and off at places. I'll try and minimize that as much as possible. I'll kind of work on a section, test it myself. If it works, I'll let you hear it. I did go through Goat Tracker today. Oops, sorry. I did go through Goat Tracker today and note down all the music that makes up the Dot Cosmos theme tune. So in a notation that only I can understand. I don't know why I didn't go for sheet music or something. I just went for crazy notation that only I can understand. But it should let me convert it directly to patterns in the new system. So yeah, we're going to give that a try. Yeah, no wine tonight. Sorry, I do. Oh god, that clipped quite a lot. Then just knock that down. It's a slide. There we go. Yeah, no wine tonight. I'm taking it easy. I felt really bad in the stomach the past couple of days, so I've just kind of I'm just going to take it easy. I'll probably only do one bottle this weekend rather than my usual two. Yeah, let me start the quiz. Okay, good luck, guys, and we're off. So I had a little bit of a think about this over the past couple of days. I'll pick up the slack for you. Oh yeah, let me add 10k. Oh god, I can't even type. There we go. I thought that was bad. Uh, Mr. Cake, who have I missed here? Oh, Cake Apocalypse. There you go. How did you say that before he said hello? That was weird. Oh, and add 50k. I am adding 50k 5 times. 250k, 10k to 25 users. Okay, so I had a little bit of a think about about what I need to do this, and also looking through the music for Doc gave me some notes on what I actually need. There's not an awful lot in Dot Cosmos. There's a couple of portamento slides. There's a couple of kind of note slides where instead of re-triggering the note, it just slides up instantly up to the next note. There's a little bit of instrument combination, so there's a bass and a kick that are combined, but I think we can separate those out. Yeah, other than that, there's really not a lot. Just some pitch slides and some volume changes on some of the things. So let me say thank you for all these. I'm missing all of these. Thank you for the resub, Cape Apocalypse. Thank you for the host, Andy. Thank you for the resub, bad boy. And thank you for the resub, True Tonics, as well. Cheers, guys. It's really good to be back. Actually, I missed it quite a bit the past couple of days. So, hey, Warlock. Yeah. So there's really not a lot that I need to do. So it actually means it's going to be quite simple to do. However, one of the things. Oh, the hype train's on. That's why. Thank you for the bits, Microman. Hype train. Good then. So one of the things that would be handy to have, and this is one of the things that's a problem with the system that I've got at the moment, is being able to through the instrument panel. So if I don't know if you know Goat Tracker, but in Goat Tracker you have your note, you have the instrument and a direct effect on that instrument. So it could be changing its attack and decay, setting the tempo of the whole tune, things like that. But the instrument itself has another table, and the instrument table has a list of waveforms in the order. Like each ticket reads a new thing in the instrument table, changes things like pitch, waveform, turns them on and off and stuff. So um, yeah, so one of the things I wanted to do is to think about changing pitch for two reasons. One, it would be nice to have uh, a portamento slide that you could control in terms of semitones. So you could control it. You could say move up one tone, move up two tones, something. So you have a weird calendar. It's missing years. I actually did look at this as years today, um, because I looked at this point. It did make me think of years. But the problem is with that with doing these slides is this is all I have. When I play a note, all I have is its frequency, and this frequency is a weird kind of formula for the frequency. So normally, I don't know how well you know music, but I think is it A4 or A3? I can't remember. It's one of these. Um, this is, let's just say it's A4. I can't remember. This is 440 hertz. That's the frequency of A. Um, Now the musical scale works is that the next octave up is double that. But you can see from this that's not the case. So it's not like we can even. It's not like these go up in predictable, easily predictable amounts. Certainly not something we can calculate with Z80 at any kind of speed. So um, I think it's A4. It might be A3. I don't know, but it doesn't matter. The point is that the one octave up equals double the frequency, but that's not the case in this. There's a weird calculation for it. So I think what I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to store these frequencies in a table somewhere. In fact, I'm going to create the table here. I'm not going to use it just yet, but just to demonstrate what it will have to be. So we're going to have to create a frequency table like this, and it's going to have to contain octaves like this. And then the notes themselves will be 0, 2, or whatever the index is into this to read it. Well, it'd be 0, 1 probably, and then because then if I want to move up one tone, I can just increase the index by 1 and find it. Thanks for the bits, Warlock. Appreciated. I'm having to drink quite a lot. I feel very dehydrated at the moment. That's good. It's good. It's keeping me off the booze for a bit, so that's all right. So anyway, that's kind of what I'm going to have to do at some point. Now, I don't actually need it. I don't actually need it right now, because as I say, the only place I could potentially use this is for some of the portamento slides, and they actually don't happen that often. There is, looking at the patterns, there is exactly 1, 2, 3 patterns that have a pitch bend. And the pitch bend is just at the end of the pattern. It's just like it's it's one of those that brings in the next pattern. So it really doesn't matter too much. However, one thing that is in the tune is there's a key shift in the tune. So some of the patterns are repeated, but with a key shift, and that would be difficult to do without this frequency table. So when we get round to that point, we'll have to do that. Um, um, okay, cool. So what I want to do first is just try getting some other channels working as well. So we've got four channels, um, two square waves, one definable wave or a square wave, I believe, and a noise channel. So we're going to use the noise channel for the for the percussion. So the kick drums, snares, we'll use the noise channel for that. We may have to mix the noise channel with one of the square wave channels to get the kick drum just right. It's not, it doesn't have to be perfect, but it would probably make sense to put it in there. So let's have a look. So channel, let's have a look. Where's the channel list in here? Yeah, so we've got two square waves, voluntary wave patterns from WaveRAM, a white noise. See, I don't know how to use WaveRAM, so we're probably just going to have to leave that for now. White noise with an envelope function. Yeah, see, I'm not sure how this is going to work actually. Maybe we do need to put a noise in that channel, voluntary wave channel. Let's get the second channel in, and just do some quick testing on that. So I think we have put jingle bells in. So I think what I'll do is I'll just create a baseline for jingle bells. Interested, um, just to demonstrate that the two things can work in synchronization. And then I guess once those are in, I can work on maybe an instrument table before moving on to the third and fourth channel. So let's start with that then first. Read usually memory. Read usually memory is definitely what happens if you drink rum. Your own memory becomes read usually memory, meaning it does kind of work sometimes, but not all the time. Okay, so this is the block for reading this one channel. Process channels. Here we go. So this is doing the channel one. Wonder if this could be macroed or something to make it easier to work with. Do you know what? No, I'm not gonna bother. I'm just gonna put a big marker here to say channel one. Thing is the channels are going to change ever so slightly between them anyway, because one of them is noise, one of them is square only, one of them is square with an tone envelope or something. So there are going to be slight differences between these. Okay, so we've got, I don't know how many of these we're actually using. God, this is what happens when you don't do anything for a week. Actually, it was only a week, wasn't it? Yeah. Maybe my brain's just getting crappy. Oh, thank you for the pipe shield. James Bond. So exciting news as well with the Mega 65. That's looking like it might actually come tomorrow. UPS have actually given me a time slot as well. So um, at some point tomorrow afternoon, I should be the proud owner of a Mega 65 dev kit. I've actually got, I don't know, you probably can't see it. You can probably just about see the corner here. I've extended my desk out a little bit to the side here. So I'll show you just down there. So I got room to put more stuff on. So my Mega 65 is going to sit on there as well, which is kind of nice. So I've got a nice slot for it, space for it on here, which means I can have it out all the time. Plenty of room for things, which is kind of nice. I know, exciting. I can't wait. The temptation to The temptation to open it before tomorrow night is intense, but I shall resist. And if it does come tomorrow, I will do a stream tomorrow night as well, um, because I'll be very eager to open it. I may do it. Actually, no, it will be 9:30 again still. So I hate you, by the way, Sean. It's your fault. I've been listening then all day listening to screeching tape files. How is that, by the way? Are you enjoying it? When did you get that? Was that this? It was this morning, wasn't it? Yeah. It's a nice little machine. I really do like the new Spectrum cases and the color choices that they've got as well. It's kind of funky. All right, let's do this then. So let's duplicate all of this to channel 2, which I think is going to probably be the same. We haven't done anything with effects yet, but these will take something will happen. Especially it did all the things once I decided to do a it took me absolutely ages to figure out how to get the F. So the two blue buttons on the back that I added, that's because I couldn't figure out how to get the function keys at all. And then it turns out the only way you can do it is by adding like a toggle button on the back. So I did those two buttons on. And they actually double up as a nice reset button as well, which is kind of nice. Okay, so same deal as above. This is a square wave as well, so I don't think there's any difference between these two. One has a sweep. The first one has a sweep. This one has envelope. I don't think we're going to need the sweep. Thanks for the follow, Big Play Ben. Welcome to the stream. I don't think we're going to need the sweep because we can kind of do that ourselves. So I don't think it will be a problem. Okay, so let's copy this channel now. So it looks like a lot of code, but one thing I've got used to is that the Z80 does tend to make pages and pages of code to do quite basic things. So I'm not too worried about this, but I am going to go through and just double check everything. So pretty much it's going to be exactly the same, but with these labels being slightly different. Now we could make some kind of loop to do this, but honestly, I'm not worried about memory here at all. I'm more bothered about speed, if anything, and unrolling a loop like this. I say unrolling; it never actually was a loop, was it? So, but unrolling it would give us faster code anyway. So, okay, so obviously the channel addresses are slightly different. God, that's bright. So they are F16, F17, but these are different now. So sound length F16. So F11 is what it was on the first channel. And it's other than that, it's exactly the same. It just starts at 16. Okay, so this is 6. So we need to add 5 to each of these addresses. Okay. And again, this is just hard coding a value, a wave duty into here. So this is something that we'll put in the instrument details, so we can change that. And that's what I'll do after this. I'll once we get these two channels working, I will make sure that this works for instruments. And then I guess we can do effects as well. So we'll try to make a tune that just has a simple slide to note effect. So 300 in so you might see something like this in Go Track. You might see like C2 instrument 1, and then you might see that on the end. So this letter here is the effect number, and this is the value. The effect 3 means slide to note, and 0 is how many ticks it should take to slide to that note. In other words, slide to the next note. So if I did something like this, what would happen is instead of this note instead of this note triggering and you hear it in C, D, like unique presses on a keyboard, it would just slide from one to the other instantly. It would go C to D, but you wouldn't hear the re-trigger. The pitch would just change, kind of like a trombone just suddenly going to the next note, while the musician continues to blow in one continuous stream. He's not taking another breath and blowing another breath. Um, okay, so let's add 5 to each of these. This is channel 2. God, what is that? I have no idea what that is. Okay, so what was it? Firefly. Never heard of it. But an amazing TV show. I'm sure every nerd on the planet feels the same and wishes it was not cancelled. Shiny. Good, good. Although you put shinny though, that's different. Oh, bring back Firefly. Yeah, I wish they would. The film was all right. I mean, it was nice to get a bit more of it, but it could have been such a good long running series. I think if they hadn't released it and they did it now, I think it'd be much more successful. I think it was just a little bit ahead of its time, and people didn't quite get it. But now you've got things like Westworld and stuff. I think people would. I mean, all right, it's not it's not the same, but it's one of those things. I think scripted shows are kind of making a bit of a comeback. I think at the time they were suffering because of the kind of reality shows and stuff. So yeah, Firefly was ruined by airing out the episodes that I've. Yeah, yeah, it's a shame, but you know. Okay, so that's 2 channels. So what we need to do now is I need to make sure that the second channel is reset properly at the beginning in the init, which is not here. So we need to duplicate this. And we also need to make sure that the tune has a second channel as well. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put pattern 5 in here and I'm just going to make it repeat. And then what I'm going to do in pattern 5 is just very, very basic drolling kind of bass line, really doing nothing at all of interest. What's this? This is the length, isn't it? I think. No, what? I forgot what the bloody things is now. Instrument duration. Okay, let me just copy that down there so I can remember. So instrument duration. So I'm going to do like 04. So it's just boop, 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 and we're just going to do one note. And this. So what is this in the key of? Seems to be E. So I'm just going to put it in E. Where's the note? Oh, the note. Okay, that's why. That's the long way around. So I'm just going to do it a bit lower and no effects. Speed of Wonderland. Interesting. 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. And we just terminate with a 0. So one thing I just realized is we don't have a way of delaying at the beginning. So if I wanted to delay here, which I do want to do, I want it to be offbeat, the thing, then there doesn't seem to be a way to do it. So I'm going to No, because that's gonna cancel, isn't it? Oh no, that's length. So length would be first. Oh, okay, that's fine. So 0 would mean blank. And then we can put anything we want here. It really doesn't matter. So that's something else I want to deal with. I'm just going to comment it out for now, just while I get it working. But we need a way of being able to just put some blank space at the beginning of a pattern, um, or indeed just turn a note off. So this in theory should maybe turn the note off, or maybe that should be something else. Um, could you just do a knob to delay? No, because everything's synced to ticks, so I wouldn't be able to do a delay on this without delaying everything else. So I just need a way of kind of saying don't do anything for the next couple of notes, next couple of ticks. For 2 ticks, don't do anything. Um, don't change anything, basically. I'll have to think about how exactly to define those 2 things. It could be that you put an instrument in like normal, um, like that, or it doesn't really matter. And actually, there is blank here, which means don't do anything. There could also be, oops, uh, oh, actually, you wouldn't call it blank, but you'd call it rest, I guess. And then here you'd call it stop or something. No, kill or something, just something like that. So this would actually, this would just wait for 2 bars, not change anything on that channel. This would also wait for 2 bars, but it would kill any noise that's happening on that channel. So this could be things that I add in at some point. We'll come to that in a minute. I'm not too fussed about that right now. What I want to do is make sure that these channels both start and play correctly. So, okay, right. So here is our start of the song. Oops. Did I actually write a label for the second channel? I did, but I didn't change the name of it. There we go. Song data channel 2. And this is again really simple. Not really a lot to say about that. It's just copying it. Need to reset the note timer as well, which is this one here. Hey Sean, how's it going? Hey Proton as well. Welcome, guys. Pretty good, but not as good as tomorrow. Yeah, yeah. Fingers crossed. I mean, it does say it's going to be delivered tomorrow, so I look forward to it. I don't know what we're going to manage to get done on a stream tomorrow, but I mean, it's a kit as well, so it has to be built, so I can build it on stream. Which is the other reason this table at the side of me here, this extra unit at the side of me, is it's a good workspace as well. So I can kind of get on here. I can clear it. I use it as my laptop table while I'm working. But what I'll do on a hardware stream like that is I can clear it and use it as my development kind of my workbench, so to speak. Okay, so let's reset those. So the music. Okay, so music ticker. Okay, so here's where we would increase any effect. So if we've got volume that we want to rise over time, or a pitch bend or something like that, this is where it would happen in here, or a tremolo or something like that. We do that in here. Vibrato even. Oh no, tremolo it is, isn't it? Yeah. So yeah, C65. It's yeah, so Commodore, we're going to release a sequel to the Commodore 64 called the Commodore 65, very massively upgraded, but they never released it. So there was a prototype that came out. They made probably about 20 or 30 machines, maybe a bit more than that. I'm not sure the exact number, but they made a few prototype machines that are in various states of kind of repair now. They go for about 20 grand each now. Um, and recently, somebody decided to recreate it from scratch, to create a new one. So they've created one called the Mega 65, which is Commodore 65 with some extra stuff. So is it like a group buy or something? Well, for a Commodore. Oh well, the Mega 65. No, no, it's something I bought. It's not. It's not a Commodore 65. It's a recreation. It's a modern recreation of that. It's not one of the original C65s. God, I wish I could afford that, but I can't. I mean, it's still cost $1,000, but it's not like a 20 grand thing. Okay. So reset the tick here. Then we process the channels. So really, that's kind of it. So I'm just going to give this a try now. Didn't know the Mega 65. Yeah, so the Mega 65 is technically a Commodore 65. The plastic case that they not the one I'm getting because the dev kit comes in one of the Perspex things, same as the made by the same people as the that make these plexi laser. But the production one comes in a C65 replica case, and it has a C65 mode in it, so you can technically run anything that would have run on the C65. And there are a couple of demos out there that you can use. It has the upgraded version of Basic in it as well, which runs incredibly fast as well. Um, so really looking forward to it. The bit that I'm looking forward to the most, though, is the Mega 65 mode. So the C65 had a VIC-3 chip in it, which was an enhancement on the VIC-2, and used bit planes kind of like the Amiga to do its stuff. And the Mega 65 guys, or Paul Gardner, has released um, uh, the Mega 65 mode has a VIC-4 implementation. So they've come up with their own implementation of VIC-4, and it's much more similar to the C64 in that it's got it doesn't use bit planes, it uses character mode and bitmap modes. But it runs much quicker, and it's got crazy stuff that it can do. It runs at I think at the moment they said 40 megahertz, but it could go up to 48. Uh, so it's pre-built. So it will be pre-built when they release it fully. This is a dev kit. This is a pre-release dev kit. So um, there was 100 dev kits that they sold in June to those who are interested in developing for it. So I put my name, well, say put my name down for it. We all bashed the website really quickly at the same time until 100 of us got one. So, uh, but yeah, it's exciting. I'm looking forward to it. It's going to be really good. So hopefully that comes tomorrow. So okay, so let's give this a quick try. So you guys aren't going to hear this, but hopefully I can hear music playing with two channels. And if it does work, I'll give you a quick listen to it. Okay, there was definitely something going on there. I'm going to turn down the note length a little bit. I don't know which one it is on here, which is the note length. Hang on. Sound length data. Okay, so if I show which one that is, let's just do that. Yeah, I'm not sure what's going on here now. Oh, is it this? It's this envelope, isn't it? I'm looking at. I'm looking at the wrong bit. Okay. Uh, Zero stop envelope operation. Okay, so if I make this one like that, it should be pretty punchy and not a lot of decay on it at all. Sorry, lots of decay on it instead of not any decay. Okay, that's actually playing both at the same time, which is good. Let me just slow this down ever so slightly so you guys can hear it. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to do the offbeat thing first as well. Um, before I let you hear it, but it does seem to be working. There's huge market for Mega 65 development streams. I assume so. Yeah. I mean, there's not. Well, I mean, they don't exist yet, so and I don't imagine there's going to be a lot of people street. I mean, there's only going to be 100 of these dev kits, give or take a few. I'm sure there'll be a couple of people that have got one outside of the, friends of Paul's or whatever might have some, or people who've helped him. But there's only going to be 100 roughly of these out there for the first few months, whatever it might be. Um, so there's a real opportunity to kind of raise the interest with it on this stream. Uh, if I do get it tomorrow, you expect me to spam Twitter quite a lot. I'll be spamming. I'm going to try and draw attention to it because I really would like people to get invested in it in the same way that they have with the Spectrum Next. Because the Spectrum Next has done well because its marketing has been very good, and the people behind it have been very good. And I think the Mega 65 deserves something like this as well because it is as powerful as the Spectrum Next. In fact, I would go as far as saying it's probably more powerful than the Spectrum Next because of some of the stuff that it can do. Um, it's kind of unusual in the way that it works. Um, it's more like an arcade machine, which is going to be quite interesting to work with, which is why I'm looking forward to it. It is going to be very interesting. Okay, I'm going to slow this down a little bit. It's just a little bit too quick. And then I'm going to put one of these delays in as well, which is going to be 4. See that? I was kind of right the first time. What I'm going to do is I'm going to lower the. Thanks for the resub, BadSid64. Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. You're resubbing. You've been here before. Thank you very much. Appreciated. Cheers with my Ribena. Just noticed it's mechanical too. What, the Mega 65? Yeah, they've got a custom mechanical. To be honest, most of the kind of, well, actually no, that's not true. The it's kind of hit and miss actually. Some are mechanical, some are kind of membrane. But definitely the feel of old retro computers is so much better than your average kind of cheap keyboard nowadays. Especially things like I really like the TI-99. That's a good keyboard. I really like the Acorn and the BBC keyboards as well. I'm not sure. I think the Acorn is definitely membrane. I'm not sure about the BBC Micro, but they still feel better because the keys are there is just something about the way keyboards were made back then better. Okay, this is working. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to put the rest in here now. So this is just going to rest for one note. And then we'll do it once I get this working, we'll do the instrument thing. Do you have a recommendation for the quietest possible keyboard? It depends what you want to do with it. Really, if it's just for office stuff, just get or do you mean like retro keyboard? Quietest retro keyboard, Spectrum 48K. I mean, the keys are goddamn rubber, for God's sake. Um, what kind of mechanical is it? I'm not sure. They're cherry switches of some kind. I've not looked at it in detail. But if you're after mechanical, oh, there you go. You guys can, yeah. Okay. It's like typing on nipples. Yeah. Um, yeah. One thing I'm not keen on is these type of keyboards. Actually, like the MacBook keyboard. You know, the low profile. I'm not keen on those. Um, I'm kind of coming down to them a little bit more. Like the Pi 400 has got them. Um, this thing has got them on it as well. But even these feel better than the Mac ones. I think the MacBook ones are terrible, to be honest. To be honest, most low profile ones are. The Pi 400 does stand out. You just had Mac, now shut it. Okay. Right, let's have a look. So let's get this resting. So what I need to do now is just make sure if we come across this particular note, don't do anything with it. So first of all, I need to make a note in here for it. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to put rest in here. I'm going to equal it to 0 because we're never gonna reach that value. And I'll put kill in here, and I'll equal that to 1. Um, for now, we'll just do rest. I want to do it now before I get into the second channel, any more channels, because I do need to copy these channels again. So here's where we load in information here. Oh, actually, the frequency is here, isn't it? No, we'll do it with instruments. I think that's where we'll do it. So instead of doing it with notes, we'll do it with instruments. So what we'll do is we'll use instrument 0 as a rest. Could put a note at the end of this, and we'll use instrument FF as a kill. Again, the difference between these being that rest just doesn't do anything, just carries on as if nothing's happened for however many ticks, and kill stops all sounds first as well. So okay, let's have a look. So we are loading in. This is our next note. So we grab channel next note. Okay, here we go. So here's where the next note. So we load in the note here, and we compare duration 0 means at pattern end. Yes, so the first number is our duration, which goes into here. That needs to stay in here. This is where we actually load in. Yeah, so now we know what the instrument is here. So what I need to do is, if I'm going to put here skip inst 1, and then this will be which is the same as comparing A with 0, or in it's accumulator. And if this is 0, we jump to skip inst 1. And this is just going to make sure that we don't do anything at this point. We just skip the instrument. So I need to implement that in the other one as well. Instead of this. and this would be skip instrument 2. So with a bit of luck, when I play that, I should hear an off note. Okay, so the beats are wrong here because what I've done is I've added too many in here. So now I've added 2 here. I need to take 2 off this last one here. There we go. And I'll play this to you in a second. Oh no, it's caught up again. Why? Okay, I need to fix this first, don't I? Huh. Hmm. Oh, it should also skip the frequency as well. Hang on. So instead of calling this instrument 1, I'm going to call it rest 1, like that. It just makes more sense then, I guess. Which means I should do it like this, really. Because here I need to skip frequency and FX. Okay. Make these correct. She'll take a break in about another 5 minutes. I know what that's for. You probably know that's not many people are going to get that. I don't think. I don't know how many. Well, actually, no. There's a few British people here, but again, they'd have to know that particular thing as well. It's not that obvious. Okay, so something weird is happening now. Okay, let's just double check this. Okay, so if it's non-zero, jump to here. Uh, yeah. It does 3 notes and then it catches up for some reason. I don't know why. Let me count how many beats are in there. So 16, 32. Okay, that should be fine. 16, 32. For some reason, this is not working properly. If I just put that in there, let me just try putting an actual note in, see if it's something to do with that. No, I don't know what's going on. Yeah, I'd say they're not going to know that. Tell you now. Uh, so what's happening? Just to explain what's. In fact, I'll play it to you. Hang on, let me pause it. So what I've tried to do is create a note that is offset. So instead of being on the beat, it's two ticks after it. So it should go do do do, and instead it'll go do 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 do. So it should be kind of off on offbeat bass line. Um, so you'll hear jingle bells, and the bass that's supposed to be there should be offset from the actual tune itself. And instead, what seems to be happening is it does it for the first note or two, and then um, it goes in sync. So you'll hear it. No, it's in different. It's going at a different speed. It seems like. Okay. Anyway, I'll work that out. I will resume the music. I'm not gonna make you endure that while it's just jingle bells. So for some reason, it doesn't seem to be updating at the same time. Why would it do that though? Could it be to do with this? I don't think it's to do with this, but I'll check anyway. It's really strange how it's losing sync like that. Red and green side. So the song pointer, pattern pointer, yeah. Note timer. Okay, did we reset the note timers? Yes. Is the note timer being set properly in here? It's been set for channel 1 in here. Channel 2 in here. Okay. Oh, hang on. Oh, yeah, that's right. So just to create, what I'm going to do, I'm going to create a very basic thing here. So I'm going to call it pattern A and pattern B. And what I'm going to try and do is play a 2-note chord in here. By doing something like this and just repeating it. So first of all, just one note. I'm going to do it that long. Let's do C and E. So that sounds okay-ish together, I guess. Let's just take a copy of that, comment that one out. Okay. Because there doesn't seem to be any reason why these would go out of sync, but for some reason they seem to be going out of sync. So I think I know this. I'm going to say it when it gets to the end. I think it is Rescue Fractalus. We're all noobs. I thought Steps would have got that one. I clicked at Kev. Why is that not loading? What have I done? What have I broken? I've no symbol pattern bit. Because it's capitalize these. In perfect synchronization. Okay, so now I'm gonna just going to change this one a little bit. And then it goes out. So it goes out of sync when the notes change. Okay. So that means there is some kind of timing issue when the notes change. So I've obviously made a mistake somewhere. So anyway, I wanted to catch someone's typo. So I will be after Christmas. I will be, if I can find a good screenshot collection, add in PlayStation 1, um, N64, Mega Drive, SNES, and other things up to round about PlayStation 1 and 64. I'm not going to go past that era. So the most modern machines in it will be PS1, N64, Sega Saturn, and that's it. Anything younger than those and younger. Basically, if you can play it on a Raspberry Pi, on Retro Pi, then it will be there. Not including Dreamcast games. And it will give you a hint in the corner as well. So there'll be a little logo in the corner to say which platform it is. So you'll know before it starts which platform. I've got to make it first, but I'm going to do it over Christmas. It shouldn't take too long. It's the biggest problem is going to be finding all the screenshots. Yeah, I think it makes sense. Otherwise, it's just going to be too confusing. I mean, you will kind of be able to recognize some platforms, um, but yeah, it's. I think it'll make sense just to have the logo in the corner, to give you a kind of head start on it, if you like. Okay, so what's going on? So the music ticker is fine. It seems to be related directly to these channels here. So let's have a look. So what do? We check to see if the value has hit 0. Otherwise, we decrease it and put it back. So let's think about this. Okay, so that means, okay. That means what we actually need to do is when we load the duration in here, we need to decrease it by 1. Um, there, like that. That should be all we need to do. It's just because of the way the comparison is working. So it was actually doing an extra a note in it, which actually means I don't know why I didn't notice it, but the music must have been slightly off. In the a pattern that was say 4 4 4 2 2 would have actually been 5 5 5 3 3. So the timings would have been very weird. Would have been a strange time signature. So I don't know why I didn't notice that, but then again, I'm not a musician. I don't notice these things, but I'm sure somebody with a musical brain would have listened to it and gone, ugh, that's completely wrong. Just not me. Duration, there we go. So here, just need to decrease it. So hopefully that should fix the syncing issues. So let's just listen. Okay, tell me what these 3 notes now sound like. Let me just pause the music. Sorry, Rob Hubbard. So just 2 notes in sync, 3 notes in sync, sorry, but it sounds like something. I was expecting it to go into something. There we go. That's your lot. Maybe it's just me. Maybe it's my shitty brain, but it sounded like no, that's not what I was thinking, but yeah, maybe. I was thinking the beginning of Ghostbusters. Well, I mean, I could start putting that music in soon, but I want to get all the instruments in first. But anyway, that means that syncing is working, which means my oh, there's the dot cosmos. Again, I had this on today while I was documenting it down on paper, and I must have had it on for about half an hour, 45 minutes, and I didn't get sick of it, which I'm very proud of. Okay, so now the pause should work, hopefully. And I'm now going to reduce this pattern down as well. Just because this is purely for testing, so 432, 32, okay. It's working perfectly. Awesome. Cool. Okay, so next step is instruments. So the way instruments are going to work, they're going to be tables like this. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to have see, I don't know whether to do it like this or whether to have a pointer into it or what. Um, so we've got a number here, which is our instrument number, and that needs to point into this instrument table. Um, however, maybe it's not an instrument. Maybe it shouldn't be an instrument table. Maybe it could just be things like this: instrument one. Okay, and then this is actually there will be an instrument table. Oh my God, and this would be like so. And then the instruments need to actually contain the data that needs to change on every tick. So um, they can be very simple. So they could just be, let's have a look. Well, what do we need to actually change? What can we change? So we can change, let's check. Yeah, let's do this one because this is the simplest of the channels. So we've got this sound length wave duty, and then an envelope here. Okay, so let's make it a 3. Let's do it with bytes. So what we're going to have is so this is wave duty sound length. Then it's going to be volume envelope. Okay, so it's going to have 4 things in here. So the reason I put effect and effect value in here as well is because on top of changing the wave duty and the volume envelope for the sound every frame, um, we could also have actually I'm going to put the effects first. We can also have effects like pitch bend and stuff. So there will be a note in here which says how to kind of how to play things. So for now we'll leave these blank. So these will be blank effects, and I'm going to do them with hexadecimals so that they stand out. And what we'll have in here as well. This will also say whether or not it needs to loop. So the most basic effect we'll have, the most basic effect we can have, well, actually the most basic is none, zero. But we can also have an effect which just does this. It doesn't have any other data. It's just an end marker, and it's just these 2 bytes here. And when it reaches this, it knows to jump back to the beginning here. We could have it also jump to the next, however many bytes long we need it to jump. So we need to document those as well. So actually, zero. Yeah, zero. We need to signify an end here as well. So I think so if we reach an end, which would be here, just stop doing any instrument updates, just leave whatever the last thing was running. Okay, I'm going to take a quick break, guys, because I do need to go to the toilet. When I come back, we'll continue on with this and get some instruments working. So we'll start creating some kind of interesting instruments. And then what I might do is try and drop 1 or 2 patterns in from the game. So I've actually got something interesting to listen to rather than just jingle bells. And I can get a feel for kind of whether or not the instruments are working then. So yeah, I'll be back in 5 minutes, guys. If that, be right back. Back. Let's look at some of the answers. Kind of funny. Okay, so I've got some basic instruments in, so I'm going to see if I can actually implement the same instruments. So at the moment, what I'm doing, where is the instrument? Oh, here we go. I'm doing this as my wave duty note length. I don't know why I've done it like this separate, but let's change that. So that would become 2A. 2A F1. Okay, so that's what I want for my instrument. That's what I'm going to use for instrument, the first one. So here. So no effect. With no jumping to offset or anything, and this would be 1-0 to jump back to the beginning anyway. Just an end. So this is basically what I want to do. I want to set these values. We're ignoring the effect, but we are loading this instrument based on the instrument in the instrument table. This does need to have that in it because this is instrument 1, not instrument 0. And all our patterns use instrument 1 here, and I'm going to put this base as well. I'm going to leave it as 01 for now. Yeah, this is going to take a couple of streams, I think, but we'll get there. Well, mind you, I've only been doing it in an hour, so it's not bad. Bit of humper. Okay, so it's this bit here. So this is where we're actually loading the instrument data in. So what I need to do, can't use HL here because HL is what we're using to move through the song data. But we're setting a new note here. So where is the actual note in the music list? Hang on. This is the first thing is the instrument. Okay, so 0 means pattern end. Okay. Yeah, because duration is first, then it's the instrument. So this is our instrument here. So the accumulator at this point contains the instrument number. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to double it by doing this. This is going to give me a doubled value so that I can then look up in instrument table. Try and get this right. So I'm just going to do it with one channel first, and then once it's right, so I'm going to load DE with that. Then I'm going to add so. Okay, so this is so this fetches our instrument lookup, which we're now going to put into instrument pointer. Now I need to store two values here. So what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to duplicate this. So, and we're going to have a pointer base. The reason we have a base is because if we need to do a loop, we need to know where to jump back to. So we're going to load the load accumulator with actually load D. Okay, D is already there, so we can store this at instrument pointer base +1 A pointer plus A. E and put that at +0. Okay, so now we've got our lookups at that location, and it's also in DE at the moment. So, with that in mind, we need to load these values in. So, God, this is confusing. Despresso. Oh dear, that's a terrible, terrible, terrible joke. Okay, so we need to load. Let's just try and shrink it. I can't shrink it down a little bit. Too small, isn't it? Yeah, let's just keep it that size. Yeah, the jokes are freaking terrible. Okay, so so what am I loading here? This is the effect. Let's just add them all in. Effect value, wave duty envelope. Okay, so firstly, if the effect is, let's put skip instrument 1 here. So this is the block that we're copying. Basically, this is what needs to be copied into the other section from here. Basically, I'm gonna actually put it in blocks like this, and then I know exactly what to copy. Okay. So if the effect is, what did we say, 0 or FF? I can't remember. FF is the end. So if the effect is FF, then we don't need to do anything. We just stop at this point. Oh my god. Channel one. Where is it? There we go. Okay, so accumulator to FF. If it is equal, we go to skip instrument. And what that will do is every time we come in here and we do this check, actually this probably needs to be somewhere else, because yes, does it needs to be somewhere else? Okay. Okay, this can be a global function which we can share between the channels, so this is good. So fetch instrument data. Okay, so what this is going to do, this is going to fetch, depending on what value is in DE, which we know at this point is God, it's getting so confusing. This we know at this point here. Fetch instrument data. We know that DE has been set up by this section here. So we can come down here, and I'm going to create some. So instant fetch duty, instant fetch envelope. So it's going to allow us to grab these pieces of data, store them in here so that they can be used immediately in each of the channels, but also in the tick update as well, which doesn't necessarily go into the full loop. So these just need to be one byte. So actually, this is quite simple. So what this needs to do, it needs to load the value in DE. And then inc DE. But it needs to store each one of these in its place. So instance effect, instance fetch effect. Sorry, there we go, like so. So that's be the value. This is the wave duty. This is the envelope. So what this is doing, this is fetching the instrument data, and it's incrementing the DE value so we can move to the next section if we need to. And notice how this is completely independent of any channel data, so we can reuse this quite easily. Which is why it's a good idea to have that down here like this as a separate thing. Now, the reason I need to do that is because I also need to update it here. So it's important that I have access to that table globally in this way. So call fetch instrument data. Okay, so now I need to check some things. So if the effect is FF, then I don't need to do anything. So here we go. Do nothing. Yep. Otherwise, I can start doing some stuff. So I don't care about the effect or the value for now, but I do care about duty. I do care about the envelope. So do that there like that. Now, hopefully what that's going to do is that's just going to play the music exactly as it was before. No different. Nope, I got an error. Music 130, of course. Oh, I had a sticky toffee pudding tonight. It was delicious. Target outreach music 79. Okay, so great thing with this is I can just do that and it will fix it. Okay, that seems to be working. So let me see if I can change the instrument now by changing this. So if I change this to 4, hopefully it should last a bit longer. No, okay, something's not quite right there. Let's keep that on 4. Let's see what it's actually doing here. Okay, let's put a breakpoint here and see if we can see what that value is that it returns. I would expect this to be it says 8.4, but I don't think that's quite right actually. It should be that value, but we're getting 8.4 for some reason. Okay, so let's move down to in here. Where's it gone? Here. I don't know where. Oh, restart. There we go. Oh, damn it. Rate already defined. I can only have one break at a time. That's frustrating, but okay. Okay, 417B. Okay, let's go and have a look at that. 417B. Yeah, see, this is not the right data. This is not pointing to the correct data at all. Oh, actually, no, it is. Sorry. Okay, 417F. Okay, so let's have a look there. 417F is this one here. 000028F4. Okay, so 28F4 should be correct. That's what we're seeing. That corresponds to the tables down here, 2A, F4, so that's correct. That should be fine. But for some reason, this is not fetching it properly. Okay, so let's skip through this function, step through it, sorry, and see if we get the same result. Oh yeah, what is that? It does look a little bit like guts, doesn't it? Not quite on an angle enough though, but yeah, I can see where you're getting at with that. Okay, so stepping through this then. So no, D is pointing to the pointer, which is not what I want. Okay, so what I actually need to do, it's not the pointer I want, is it? It's the, so hang on. So here DE contains the pointer and we're storing it incorrectly there. So we shouldn't be doing that. That's why. Instead, what we should be doing is saying load accumulator DE. Oops. Oh my God, where's it gone? Shit. Should be this bit here. And I'm just going to temporarily put that. Hopefully, I'm not using B anywhere. Temporarily going to put that in B. Increment DE. And that's the upper byte, so I can put that in there now, and then I can do load E with B. There we go. God, I hate Z80, especially this version. So we set saves a byte. Hang on, let's have a look. You could use K there instead of compare A with FF. Oh yeah, but I might need the value as well. So at the moment, I'm not doing anything with it, but eventually, when I use effects, I'm going to need the value here as well. So um, I'm just not using it at the moment, but I will need that value eventually. But yeah, it's a good point though. It is a good point. Okay. What's it doing? Oh yes. I just want to check the values now. Okay, so now D is pointing to 4184, which I think is correct. It's shifted, but yes. Okay, so it's pointing to the right location now. So I should be able to skip through. To A. Yes, perfect. All right, cool. So in that case, I'm going to get rid of that breakpoint. That's working correctly. Cool. Okay, that's working. It's working with the original sound, but now it's pulling it from this table. So if I do that, hopefully it should change the instrument slightly. Which it is doing. Perfect. Okay. So the next step is, can I actually change it on the fly? So first of all, I'm going to try just changing the wave duty a little bit just to see what the difference in sound is. So I can get a feel for what it. Okay, so that's what it sounds like with that value. What's it sound like with that value? Okay, definitely two different sounds. Okay, so now what I want to do is I want to try alternating between those two sounds. Oops. So what this is going to do, this is going to play for one tick. It's going to keep the instrument at this setting, at this setting here. Sorry. Then on the next tick, it's going to change the tone of the sound completely. And then here it's going to reset and go back to here. So that's the aim. Okay, so to do that, what do we need to do? And again, I'm just going to do this all on one channel first. So the first thing I need to do is when I fetch the not fetch the pan, sorry, when I fetch the instrument data here, I need to make sure that I store the result from DE back into the instrument pointer, not the base, but just the pointer. So to do that, I need to and this is just going to ensure that the next time around we can grab the correct pointer into the music. And that pointer is going to now be done music in here. Okay. So I think I will do this with a loop here. So let's do some markers here for this. It's important we get this right as well. So every tick we have to do this. So what we have to do is we have to go and have a look in the let's just make a note what this is. We have to go and look in each channel for instrument updates. So I'm going to keep um, actually, this isn't going to work, is it? Because the freaking address. All right, let's do it on one channel, and then I'll figure out if we can do it on multiple or not. Shouldn't be too hard, I don't think. But okay. Um, so how do we do this? Okay, so we need to grab the instrument pointer here, um, which is now actually pointing to data. So this is pointing directly at the data now, the next piece of data in the list. And this is where we basically need to almost kind of duplicate some of this, not quite all of it, but some of this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it from here like that. There we go. So this is fetching the instrument data again. It's updating DE. It's doing the same check that we were doing before, and then it's updating the wave duty in the envelope. Now, what I can do in actually can't do it in here, can I? I was going to say if we come across the loop effect here, it's just going to have to do it manually, aren't we? We're just going to have to do it in here. Okay, so if we reach the loop, which is this bit here, jump to offset. So if the effect is 1 and the value, then we set the value. Okay, so the way we do this is quite simple. See here, we're using the effect. We're grabbing the effect. Sorry. If the effect is FF, we're at the end and we don't do anything. Okay, so we come here and the duty in the envelope don't change. However, if it is 1, uh, we do need to jump to an offset. At which point we need to grab the base value in the accumulator. And hopefully I can just, I don't know if this is going to work actually, but let's try it. Don't know if I can do that. I have a feeling that's not going to work, knowing what the accumulator is like. Let's try it anyway. Sure, SpecCom can probably tell me if that's going to work or not. And that's going to jump to a new offset. But if we jump to an offset, then what we actually need to do once we've stored those values is we need to grab them again. So I'm going to do here. So there is a danger we can come into an infinite loop here if you just have a loop with no instruction on it. But hopefully this is going to be fine. No, but you can add a HL. Uh, hmm. Okay. I'm not going to do that. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to load the A. Because I'd have to set HL up, and I don't necessarily need to set it up. Jump out of reach 222. Okay. Oh, I love this. Is one thing I do like about Z80s. I can do this. Okay. Uh. Okay. Uh. Hmm. I feel like it's not ticking fast enough to actually do anything useful because it doesn't sound quick enough for some reason. Like the change is not quick enough. Um, I mean, it's working. It's definitely working. I mean, no, possibly they did say that if the Mega 65 if people cancel their orders for any reason, they would put dev kits in stock. So maybe they have got some. Quick, go get one. Okay, this does seem to be working. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to try playing around with the instrument cycle a little bit now. I'm not going to spoil it by letting you hear it. I'm just going to play around with it for a little bit. See what crazy sounds I can make. I mean, it's doing some stuff. If I do that, does it end? Maybe. The problem is I'm struggling to notice a huge difference between the notes. Let's have a look. What are these actually doing? So we've got wave duty. I'm still not entirely sure what that's doing, or sound length data either. I don't know what that's doing. Uh, oh, wave duty is this, whatever that means. I guess that's the square pattern. Okay, so the difference is just the first 2 bytes, and then okay, envelope. Okay, so okay, let's try some random stuff out here. Okay. Because I've definitely got instrument. It's definitely working. It's doing something. Just want to know what it's doing. See, now I don't hear anything, so I obviously have to put something in here. No, it's not enough. The last 2 bytes. So this would be like 3 here. Yeah. No, this isn't going to be enough either. Ah, this is frustrating. It's frustrating because I don't really understand what I'm doing properly here to make these sounds. See, I have no idea what the wave pattern duty does, other than maybe this is like how long it's high and low in the square pattern. What sound length is, I have no idea. Doesn't seem to affect the length of the noise. That seems to be due down to this initial volume envelope. Okay, so changing this value, I would expect to hear the note climb. So if I just put this all on F down here, that's what is that actually do? So that would be okay. This should just be a continuous sound basically, but rising in volume. So it doesn't seem to be. I can't tell the difference between that which is full volume. Sounds the same. Hey, Mindrail, welcome. Thank you. Counter is bit 6 for FF19. Oh, yes, I wasn't looking at those actually. That's a very good point. Counter consecutive selection. Stop output when length 1 expires. What? There's like a count when you have it either looping or to end when the counter reaches 0. Okay, so this is just to make the sound continue. Okay. Okay, but okay, you can either have it looping or to stop dead when the counter is set by bit 6. Okay, which I'm not setting at the moment. Which is why it's just looping. Okay, so at the moment that's what's happening, it's looping. Okay, that's fine. I don't mind it looping because I'm using this envelope here. But the initial volume of the envelope, this doesn't seem to be doing anything, whereas this does. So, for instance, if I set this number of envelopes, so okay, so if I set this to 0, so if I did like, I would expect this to decrease in volume rather rapidly. Okay, that's okay. That's definitely doing something. So then, if I change this to like that, it's going to alternate between 2 sounds. Okay, I really, really need to work out how to make these sound a bit less shit. But the interesting thing is this is actually applying these values now, and it's using this jump here. So that's pretty good. If I turn that off, it will just play once and then it's got a bit of tremolo to it. Okay. Okay. Although that didn't seem to do anything in the end here. It didn't seem to stop it at all. But interesting. The instrument seems to be working. That's good. Okay, right. So in that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate this for pattern 2, maybe. me just have a look at this a second. Hang on. So there it is. There we go. Skip instrument update 1. Okay. If it is a FF, we're at the end. Otherwise, I need to store the pointer. Okay, that should work better. There we go. I'm still hearing the loop in the instrument. This has to probably be the least interesting thing for you to least interesting stream for you to listen to, because you can't really hear what I'm doing without me stopping it all the time, and I don't want to really stop the music until I've got something. Oh, chat's disconnected. That was weird. Price supports the retail production. Yeah, it's I suspect it's going to be half the price, maybe less. If you consider that the Spectrum Next is £300, I think, and I would consider the Mega 65 to be more. You're getting more machine for your money, so I'd expect it to be higher than 300. For a start, you're getting. I mean, I don't know what the keyboard's like on the Next, but I'd be very surprised if it's as good as the Mega 65 keyboard, because that thing looks absolutely amazing. You're getting. I think the FPGA is bigger as well, and you're getting disk drive as well. So, and the case is bigger as well. So I'd be surprised if it's £300. I think it's probably going to be around about 400, maybe 500. The Next keyboard isn't too bad. Is that a mechanical keyboard as well, or because that's one of the big advantages I think that the Mega 65 keyboard might have, is that it's like a full kind of proper mechanical keyboard. So yeah, that's why I think the price is going to be a bit high. I think we're probably looking at 400 minimum, possibly 500, maybe more. I don't know, but as I say, I think the FPGA is bigger as well. Okay. So my only concern at the moment is that the music tick rate, like the frequency with it's changing things, is not kind of what I was hoping it would be. It's not as fast as I was hoping it would be. So either I need to call this music function more often, which I probably don't want to do, or I need to figure out how this is normally done. This must be how it's done, though. We're doing it on every tick. Every tick is always doing the update. So we're always doing this regardless of whether or not we tick into the next tune or not. It's a tricky one. We set the frequency to channel 2. Yeah, the channel's been set. I'm looking at channel 2's because channel 1 has got a bit more to it. It's got this extra thing in it. I should probably be looking at channel 1. Channel 1 is the one that I'm doing. But yeah, I've set the frequencies. So the problem is, let me just change pattern 5 for a second, just to so it doesn't play anything. I mean, oh, let me just close everything. So what I'm doing is trying to alternate between two different wave duties and to some different volume envelopes here as well. Now, I'm not sure why, but it does. You can tell the difference. So you can tell the difference with the wave duties here. So if I just set these all to FF, so it's just a long continuous note. Uh, And you can hear the jump between the two. Let me just pause this. So you'll hear as it alternates very quickly between the two. But it doesn't feel fast enough, and it doesn't feel like I've got enough control over the music to over the kind of waveform to do anything interesting with it. Unfortunately, it could just be that the pitch that I'm doing it at or something. I'm not sure, but you'll hear if you just listen carefully. You'll hear the kind of the vibration, the alternating between the two waves. But it just sounds like extra notes. It just sounds like it's doing multiple notes. Um, so if I change it completely like this, so that's with the alternating. If I take the alternating out, no, it's still doing it. What the hell? Okay, now I'm confused. All right, I think I might have found the problem anyway. So anyway, back to the music. Okay, and it explains it. If the alternating's not in and it's still doing that, then there's something weird going on. In fact, it shouldn't be doing because this is here as well, so it shouldn't even be repeating. Which makes me think these values in here. Okay, it's got to be something to do with this. Something to do with these values here. Oops. Now, is it because they have a retrigger? No, the retrigger is in here, so it's not that. Okay. So if I don't set them, what happens? Okay. Oh, God's sake. Okay. Seems like it might work a bit better. Oh God, I'll be glad when this is over. I'm starting to regret doing it like this. Actually, I wish I'd done it. Um, I wish I just used one offhand. But I mean, this is fine. This is all good experience. It's be so much easier in 6.5. I kind of want to write my own music routine in 6.502 now. All right. Okay, let's skip through this one. So what I'm doing here is I'm just checking what the accumulator, what effect happens here. Uh, yeah, see, it's grabbing something weird here. Um, so it's jumping to the wrong place for some reason. D582. Um, yeah, I mean, this is I don't even know where this is grabbing data from here. Okay, so that's the problem here. Okay, so D5A2. Okay, why is D pointing to that? A2, sorry, A2. Oh, and then it's finding FF, which is correct. But it should have all that before it, which is not. Oh, wait, hang on. Wait a minute. Something weird going on here. Do that again. Let's close all that. So the mic's holding up tonight, which is good. Good night, Sean. At least something's working tonight. Before you leave. Do you get your Procast? Yeah, that's what I'm using tonight. That's what I'm using now, yeah. Sounds good. Yeah, I'm I'm a little bit annoyed because I have ordered a better arm for it. The one I've got kind of it works, but because I've done some rearrangement, I want another arm. So I thought I'll get a decent Rode arm for the microphone, and then use this arm for the camera, for the secondary camera. And it hasn't arrived yet. So, but I mean, this arm works for this. No, this works. I mean, this arm works fine for it. And I've got it dangling down as well. So if anything, it should be pulling on it more. But it's fine. But I do need to get another one anyway, for the camera. So I've decided to get a decent one, anyway. So, but yeah, it's pretty decent. I've got a shock mount on it as well, so it's nice and protected. And one last thing before you go on. What else? What else are you after? Gambling. Serves you right. Serves you right. Okay. Okay. So it's pointed to. Hmm, trying to work out where things are. Okay. So this is what it says that it's reading from that location 00200FF, but that is not at all what's at that location. This is completely wrong for some reason. Oh God. Good night, Sean. Damn it. All right. So it should be reading these values. This is what we should be reading. So why is it not reading those? Why am I not getting those values when it comes here? So when I call this value here, pointing to this position, it should be reading that. So let's just check that when we go into fetch instrument here. Oh god, I'm so excited about the Mega 65. It's gonna be brilliant. Break already defined. Oh god. All right. But it's not already defined. What's it on about? Stupid assembler. Okay. So now we're at this point. D is saying D590. So let's go and have a look at that. This should be our music, our instrument data. 00. No, it's not. See, it's pointing somewhere weird. Where the hell is that pointing to? Because I don't see the instrument data anywhere in here. In fact, this isn't even pointing. This is pointing to here. Hang on, what have I done wrong here? Something is very wrong. Yeah, pointers can get confusing at times. It does annoy me. I mean, the concept's easy enough, but sometimes just trying to follow them through in your head can be a little bit confusing. But for some reason, it's pointing to completely the wrong place. So, um, because this is pointing into RAM at the moment. Actually, it's pointing into it's pointing into RAM. And it shouldn't be pointing into RAM. Oh wait, hang on. Am I doing? Oh god, I'm being stupid on it. Okay, so let's think. Okay, so it's a new instrument. So grab the instrument table, get a lookup into it in DE, then load. Yeah, so that's the best. So this is pointing to the new location. Yes. Okay, that's good. So this is weird. At this point, it should be pointing to the right place. Okay, the only thing to do is to skip through it all, step through it all properly, slowly, one bit at a time, instead of trying to jump all ahead. Right? Okay, let's go from here because I think that should be right. Okay. God, hack me, Finn. See, that's correct. 41C4. Okay, so if I go to 41C4, and there we can see 41C8. Okay, so now what it's saying is that I should be loading those values into these locations, which is our RAM locations. So this is the low byte. Then it should increment DE, which is 41C5, which is pointed here. And this is the high byte. And now we should be pointing to 41C8, which is here, which is the instrument data. I can see the instrument data perfectly here. Okay. And that increments correctly. Okay, so why is it in that case that there is a problem here. Oh, oh, fucking hell. Okay. I know what the problem is. I'm being stupid. So what I'm doing here is I'm loading in this address into here, and whereas what I should be doing is this. So yeah, it's just a mistake with pointers. Um, and that's why we step through things so you can see things properly. So I was loading the pointer in and not the pointer, the location that the pointer was pointing to, if that makes sense. Okay, so obviously stupid accumulator things, I have to do it like this. I swear, if it wasn't for just wanting to get my head around Z80, I'd make macros for all of these. Okay, so that's now going through the instrument data properly, I think. Because it's not doing that weird jittery thing now. So if I put these in, okay, that's sounded different. Okay, this seems to be working now. Okay, right. Uh, so again, let's go back to, because they were three very, very different things then. So what am I looking at again? So wave duty sound length. Okay, so I'm not going to bother with the sound length for now. That's something we can work out later. We'll add that into here if we need it. Might not need it. I'm going to do the bare minimum to get this song working, to be honest. Um, so wave pattern I do care about. So that's the only two things I'm going to mess with. The only two bits I'm going to mess with. So I'm going to either turn them on or I'm going to turn them off. So I'm going to try. So it's the first two. So this would be 3F or FF. Hopefully that's going to create a kind of tremolo effect, I guess. Well, I mean it. Oh, actually, I wonder if I do. Yeah, okay. I think I'm getting the hang of this now. I think if I do this, and then that should create a kind of weird instrument, and it's a lot quicker. That that is happening a lot quicker. So where I was worried before that the tremolo thing was not quick enough, now it's actually pretty quick. So which makes sense. It shouldn't have been so slow. Okay, cool. So this is off. This is on. So if I do, well, let's have a look. Let's do the two wave patterns in the middle. So these two here. So it'd be 0, 1 and 1, 0. So 0, 1 would be 4F and 1, 0 would be BF. And let's make these like so. Cool. All right. So I feel happy with that. I've got something that kind of resembles a tweakable instrument. That's kind of nice. Oh, okay. So I think what I'm actually going to do. Um, oh, actually, I need to copy that into instrument two, don't I? Damn it. All right. Okay, so let's have a look. Instrument one. Okay, so this is what we did. for this instrument. So I need to copy that. Rest here before the frequency. Okay, so this needs to go in here before the frequency. Okay, so it's a whole section. +5 to these. 6, 7, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2, 2. Okay, kind of simple. Okay, so let's put that pattern back. So so now I should be able to have two different instruments now. Still haven't put any more effects in here, but we do have the ability to have more than one instrument now. So keep that quite short. Why's that go on capitals? Why did that go capitals? That was weird. Ah, no, it's going to be a jump, isn't it? Yeah. And target out of reach. 358. Okay, I kind of expect that with these changes. Oh, and I also need to update at the top. So I've not updated at the top, so that needs to be done. There's going to be another one of these though as well. I'm absolutely certain of it. So the work that we're doing here for channel 1 also needs to happen in channel 2. I'm just going to do the same. This is really bad. I mean, I should be doing this with loops and stuff, but I'm kind of, I just want to finish this game now. I just want to get it out. And I'm really not bothered about memory. But I am bothered about not finishing this game in the next couple of weeks. So it's important that I take as many shortcuts as I possibly can, regardless of whether they're a good idea or not. Just to avoid having to do any more Z80 ever again. Okay, so that should be 2 instruments, which I've now got in here. So I mean, if this works now, I should be able to actually create maybe the first pattern and see how that works. I knew there'd be another one. 3293. Okay. So I'm just going to see if this works, and then if this works, I'm gonna set I'm gonna actually create real patterns. Okay, that's working. All right. So I'm going to try and create a real pattern now. So let's get rid of that. Let's keep the instrument table like this for now, but let's destroy the patterns a little bit here. So we're getting rid of jingle bells now, and I'm actually going to use same pattern numbers and everything that I've already got for .cosmos, and I'm going to try and introduce a few patterns. And then if the patterns sound good, I'll let you have a sneak peek before I end for the night. Need to get my beauty sleep for tomorrow when the Mega 65 comes. Okay, so let's go with the what is that? That's just a blank channel. That's a fade in on. Okay, yeah, let's just do the really simple simple one. So we're going to do, this is going to be pattern. Let me just move the music data down to here. There we go. We're going to do pattern 1 and pattern 7, they're called. They're just going to stay like that. I will add more patterns later as I need them. I'm going to keep the numbers the same as they are in the goat tracker stuff. And these are really simple. So So instrument 2, 4 bars, C2. And we've got no effects yet, so let's try it at C0. I just want to see what the how low this sounds first. And we may try and add a sweep into this as well, maybe. But I guess that'll be for the next stream. So this is C, F, C, G. And then just to make sure that this actually plays something. Oh, it needs a duration, doesn't it? Doesn't really matter how long. Okay, it's too quick, so slow that down. And then change the instrument. It needs to be quite a long sounding instrument. So it's a bit too slow now. I'll work the speed out later. Sounds kind of all right. I wonder if I can play around with the instrument though to make it sound better. So let's try changing the wave slightly. So now we're creating a loop here. There's a loop there as well. Let's comment that one out. It's not needed. Let's loop between like that. No, sorry, like that. Okay, that sounded weird. Okay, let's try here. Okay, re-triggering that note or something is making it sound weird. It's like that. It's actually re-triggering it for some reason. Yeah, I'm deliberately not doing it until I've got something to show you, because I don't want to play annoying noises at you basically. So you have to bear with me a little bit. I do apologize. Oh, requests not working. Really? Uh, okay, let me try. Okay. Well, it works if I just type something. Together, no, you don't like the SIDS, do you, Chromos? I wish there was a better way to turn them off on the stream. And oh, really? Let me restart the Oh, hang on. Yeah, I wish. The problem is finding. I don't want the stream to be completely silent. So let me just try. Tell me a joke. Oh yeah, there you go. Okay, seems to be working there. Yeah, there we go. Anyway, we've had this discussion before. I'm not going to get into it again. But yeah, I wish there was an easier way, but unfortunately, I don't know of an easier way. Okay, so that's pattern 1. Let me try pattern 7. Pattern 7, same as 0, but with a faded. Okay, so this is okay. This is going to be instrument 1. So that's going to be E, C. Let's do it with 3. That's annoying. I feel like that's too high as well. Oh, that's annoying. Stop trying to auto-complete everything I do, for God's sake. Okay, then this would be F, E, C, F, E, C. Okay, F, E, C, F, E, C. H is just beat one of the levels in Luma today. Oh, Warlock's levels. Okay, I thought you meant you'd only managed one level. That's actually pretty damn close. Okay. Does need to be a bit higher though. Fucking this update's annoying. Ah. Now, technically, I don't need to repeat this 4 times like this, but I want the patterns to all be the same length. I don't want to have to kind of repeat sections. And again, like I said, I'm not fussed about note length at all. So about memory usage. Let's slow it down. Bit more. This is probably going to work out all right. Again, I don't really care if the music is super accurate as long as it's the melody. Okay. So let's just load up Goat Tracker so you can see uh, the difference. Oh god, now I've got to find the tunes. There, no, no, there. Okay. So this is Dot Cosmos, the original. Let's just put it on that. Oh, thanks for the resub. Cheers. 9 months, baby. Baby rage. So you can hear there's a little bit of phasing going on in the pulse wave. So that needs to be replicated somehow. but this is what I have so far. At least I've got the notes correct anyway. Oh, thanks, Gray. Yeah, it did well as well. It got like 87, 88% or something. So it's a little bit harsh, but the music is kind of there. So, I mean, that is very, very basic. So I'm not doing any. Like if I add this in, you'll see that the melody kind of tremolos a bit. So the instrument kind of stuff is working. 2 channels simultaneously is working with different instruments, including kind of looping tables and stuff. So the quiz reset and didn't have a beat just now. Oh, I didn't start it today. Yeah, let me start it again. There you go. So let me see if I can add another pattern in. So what's got 1 and 7? So let's go and find another pattern in Goat Tracker. So what's an interesting pattern in here? So let me just let's just play through and find one. I want one where it's just leads, not drums, because I haven't got the noise channel in yet. So we need to have a listen, figure out where to go. How much tuning control do you have in the game? Well, I can. I mean, there's like 20 steps between notes, roughly. I mean, I can do this bit, I guess. No, the next one I'm going to do. This next bar coming up, but without the beat. This one there. No, not this one. Yeah, I don't have that set up yet, Chromos, unfortunately. But it's one of the effects I'm going to be adding in relatively soon. Hey, Cosmo. No, not this one actually. I'll tell you which one. Actually, yeah, I'm going to do this one. All right, let's do that one. So that's 2, 3, and 6. So 2 is basically the bass line, but with the drums on it, which I don't have at the moment. 6 is empty, so that means I've just got to do pattern 3. Okay, so pattern 3 is apparently not on my sheet. Oh, there it is. Oh god. Oh yeah. So this is one that's got lots and lots of slide to notes and stuff in. So this is where we actually do need to kind of start thinking about that. So maybe that is one for next time. But I'm kind of happy. Let's try and add some stuff in, thinking about effects here. So I'm not bothered about this effect here. I want to try and do the effects that are in here. So these bits here. So the moment we've got this going here. So if I just if I make that note really long in instrument 2, which is this one here. No, instrument 1, sorry. Okay. So I just get rid of this, just do a nice boring note that's kind of quite long. So you can kind of hear it being, actually you can't hear it being pressed that much actually. Is that because I need to re-trigger? Let's have a look. Restart sound, bit 7. Okay, channel frequency high. Okay, so let's go and just quickly look at that. Sorry, the SIDs are off for a second while I do this. Thanks, Beckhamster. Thanks for the Twitch Prime. Appreciated. I'm going to save some money though this weekend by only drinking one bottle instead of multiple. Okay, let me just quickly check. So, where do we set the frequency? Here we set the no, not there. Here, sorry. Yeah, we are setting bit 7 of that, so that is being turned on. What happens if I turn that off out of interest? Okay, that's because that's actually the baseline. Let's just leave that there for a second and just. Oh, actually, it doesn't matter. So, okay. So you have to turn the note on. I'm gonna put the SID music back on again. All right. When will you mod a Game and Watch, Shalon? I'm bored of Mario. Well, the thing is, I think those Game and Watches are running NES games anyway. I'm pretty sure that's what they're doing. I mean, is it which Mario? Is it the NES version of Mario that runs on it? Because that's what it looked like. Because if that is what it's running, I would not be surprised if it is just a NES emulator. So I'm pretty sure you could hack it to run any NES ROM you want. It's in a YouTube video. There you go. It's being hacked. Yeah. I'm fairly certain there will be some way of accessing the data on it. If it's not already got a port external, there'll probably be some points on the board which act as either USB or serial interface or some kind of interface and allow you to run it. It's locked to a degree. Maps in Mario being changed somehow. Okay. Somebody will figure it out. Somebody will figure it out. Because I think it is just a NES. It's just a handheld NES emulator. That's all it is. I think I might call it a night in a minute because I think we. I mean, I'm really just at the point where I need to add effects in. And for now, I'm kind of fine with this. Oh, let me just try something before I go. What I want to try is decrease 0. See, it doesn't seem like. Oh, maybe the sound length defines how quickly it drops. Let's just try something here. Okay, so which is my. I'm gonna do it on the bass line. It's probably the easiest one to listen to. Okay, so envelope direction 0, sweep down. Okay, so damn it, I keep looking at the wrong things. Yes, okay, so initial volume F, decrease. So it would be 0. So if I make that F7, and then sound length, stop when output in length expires, which I think is what it's doing. Let's check that in a minute. Okay, so if I set my sound length to 0, what happens? That's what I'm interested in doing here. So I'm going to try both ends of this. So if I set that to 0, Okay, so that's one. Okay, so that didn't change the length at all. Okay, and it's not changing the length because, well, because it doesn't seem to make any difference whatsoever. Oh well. All right. Anyway, I think that's fine for tonight. Do, do, do. Activities 3 for Game and Watch. Oh my god. Oink. Oink's really good. Oink is a game. Yeah, there you go. Andy says it's proper. I liked it. I think it was pretty good. It was a free game on either the first or the second Commodore format type, and for a free game, it's not bad. It had 3 sub games in it, so there was like one where you explored a little bit, like a top-down maze exploration thing. One which was like a kind of breakout clone, and one where you were flying. It was kind of like Zaxxon, but not on that angle. You were top down, and you'd fly up and down above things. But it was all right. Rose tinted glasses, yeah, probably was. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to call it a night there then. So I'm pleased with that. It's slow but steady progress, and I'm at the point now where I think I can almost write the music. So on the next stream, I'm going to try and add in. I'm going to do a little bit of research about the waveform channel, because it would be good if I could use that to do some specific stuff. But maybe drums or something. But they're noise channels, so we'll work out the noise channel and try and create drum patterns in there. So next time we'll add one more channel in, and then hopefully get some more instruments in, and some effects. It's pitch bends is what I need. Pitch bends is what I need next. So we'll do that. Okay, cool. Let's go and have a look. Who is there to raid tonight? Proton's on. Let's go and raid Proton. It's all alone. Let's go and raid him. So Proton's another C64 coder. He's a demo code. He's been doing it for years now, absolutely years, 30 years or so, since pretty much the beginning. I'm not sure what he's doing. I can't quite tell what he's doing, but let's go and take a look anyway. Yeah, I can't tell what he's doing. Let's go and have a look. And hopefully I'll see you all tomorrow with the Mega 65. I'm only going to stream if the Mega 65 appears. I don't normally stream on a Wednesday, but I said I would if the Mega 65 come, and there's no way I can leave that set in a box for another day. So we'll stream that on Wednesday. I'll carry on with Checkanoid on Thursday. I might do some more Mega 65 on Saturday after the stream. I may split Saturday stream into 2. So I can do a little bit more Mega 65. Um, so yeah, we'll see. Anyway, fingers crossed. All right, let's go and raid Proton. Thanks, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow, maybe. Cheerio. Did that raid?